Good day, everybody. It's Andrew here, and welcome back to my channel. We have a huge update. This is going to be a quick update, but a really important one. Now, we have a couple of big changes that are going to have massive impacts on this stimulus package. So let's discuss the details in this video, but before we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. As always, please subscribe to my second channel. I'm going to be giving away a stimulus check on that one, just as a thank you for supporting my work. And the link for that channel is going to be in the description and the comments of this video. Well, what changed and what is the huge update that we have for you today? This has to do with the sequence of how the stimulus packages are going to be approved. Now remember, progressives and moderates have been fighting back and forth as to what is going to be approved first. Progressives are waiting for the Senate to approve the stimulus check package. That way, progressives have a guarantee that that is going to get done. And just to kind of summarize here, there's two chambers, of course, the Senate and the House. Now, the House is almost guaranteed to pass both stimulus packages, but the Senate is what's being controlled by Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. And these bills have to pass both chambers in order to be then sent to President Biden's desks. So progressives in the House have been saying they're not going to approve the physical stimulus plan until Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema vote to approve the stimulus check plan in the Senate, right? So basically, progressives have been using the physical stimulus plan as leverage to make sure that the Senate approves the stimulus check plan, because once it's approved in the Senate, it's almost guaranteed to be approved in the House as well. Well, this is a huge change that progressives have just done, and they are saying that now they're okay. They're basically giving up on this whole situation, and they're saying that they're probably going to vote to approve the physical stimulus plan in the House, and they're going to trust President Biden to get the votes that they need in the Senate to get the stimulus check package done as well. Now, that's kind of confusing, but basically we have the House and the Senate. These stimulus packages have to pass both chambers, and the physical stimulus plan is almost guaranteed, but the stimulus check plan is not. And this is why progressives in the House have not voted on the physical stimulus plan yet, because they want the stimulus check plan to get past the Senate first. That way it's basically guaranteed that it's going to get done. Well, Representative Jayapal, which is one of the most prominent progressive Democrats in the House, recently said in this interview that she is now okay with approving the physical stimulus plan first and then trusting Joe Biden to get the votes that they need to get the stimulus check package done, right? So that was kind of confusing, but I hope that kind of made sense how I explained that. So this is a huge change to how the process was supposed to happen, because now progressive Democrats are going to lose some leverage here, because Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema definitely want the physical stimulus plan to get done, but now they're not going to have that leverage. Now they're going to have to trust President Biden to get Joe Manchin on board to get this stimulus check package done, right? So I'm not going to lie to you guys. That makes me nervous, because when it comes to these negotiations, you need every leverage you can get. Every piece of leverage you can get, you need to use it to your advantage, especially when it comes to trying to get stimulus checks done when Joe Manchin is standing in the way. So Representative Jayapal, the liberal Democrat from Washington, who has been fighting for stimulus checks, she is one of the biggest proponents of $2,000 stimulus checks and is also on board with doing a $1,400 stimulus check for seniors. She recently held an interview just this morning saying that they're going to trust President Biden, and most likely they're going to vote to approve the physical stimulus plan this week in the House, as well as the Build Back Better stimulus check plan. So both packages will most likely get done this week. Again, that's what they're saying. We'll see if they meet their deadline, but the expectation is that both stimulus packages are going to be fully approved in the House, which means that the physical stimulus plan will go to President Biden's desk because the Senate already approved that one. That will be fully signed into law shortly, and then we're going to have to sit and wait to see if the Senate votes to fully approve the stimulus check plan, right? So that's where things stand today. Let's watch and see exactly what Representative Jayapal had to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will keep you posted as things continue to develop.
Let's just do what we can to emerge. I have faith in democracy. I have faith in the president, and I have faith in our ability to deliver both bills out of the House and that the Senate will get 51 votes there.
You've talked about legislation being held hostage in the House. I'm not sure that really endears you to the House members,
Eugene, it's honest.
Will you commit then, because you have been pretty clear about your parameters for the Build Back Better legislation? Will you commit to voting for legislation that's within your parameters? Will you? Because I think that would end what you call the hostage taking in the House.
Eugene, it won't end because they want me to write in blood that I'll be for this, and this. And I'm not for this, and this. And they know it. They know it. I've been very clear.
Okay, that was Joe Manchin on our show just a few moments ago, with Eugene joining us now, chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus and senior whip of the Democratic Caucus, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal of Washington State. Okay, first of all, he wants to understand a full accounting of everything, the size, the scope, the cost, and wants to take the time to do that. What's wrong with that? What's your response to what the senator said?
Yeah, Mika, it's great to see you and be in person. Look, he actually negotiated this deal with the White House. It was to his parameters. He will get a full Congressional Budget Office score before the legislation goes to the parliamentarian. That will happen. And we know that there's more than enough money because there's revenue raisers in here that have already been scored. A lot of the
So you're giving him a framework of what he expects? Is there any possibility you're moving the goalpost, adding things back in?
Well, I think yesterday the Speaker announced that she was adding in paid leave. That is something that Senator Manchin has not agreed to. And, you know, look, I think that when we pass it in the House, it'll then go to what's called a parliamentarian scrub. And things will be taken out if they don't meet the parliamentary procedures and rules.
Okay, but you know that he won't accept that.
Yes, and that was the Speaker's decision because I think really because millions of women across the country are outraged that one man would say we're not going to do paid leave. And so I understand that piece is there. But the rest of this has been negotiated, and it's been negotiated with the senator. And I've been trying. Look, he's a good man. We've had many meetings. I've been trying not to point fingers here. Let's just get these two bills done. We're going to do our work in the House, and then we're going to trust the president that he's going to get 51 votes in the Senate.
So hold the phone, Gene Robinson. I know you want to jump in, but here's what former advisor to President Obama, David Axelrod, said yesterday about lessons from Tuesday's Virginia election.
Independents broke 9 points in favor of Youngkin, and that proved to be devastating. Just remember that Joe Biden, I think, won independents by 18 points 10 years ago. So that is a real concern for Democrats. One of the questions I have is if you're a Democrat sitting on Capitol Hill and you're from one of these swing districts in suburban areas, are you rethinking tonight your vote on this reconciliation package? Are you thinking maybe it's best we shouldn't do it? If I were sitting in the White House, if I were sitting in the leadership of in the Democratic councils in the Congress, I'd be worried about that. I'd be trying to firm these people up.
Congresswoman Jayapal, what do you say?
I'd say the way to firm them up is to give them paid leave so that women who have been pushed out can get back to work. To give them universal child care, universal pre-K, lower the cost of prescription drugs.
Okay, so some of that's in there.
Yeah.
And then some of what you're saying, while I agree with it as a woman in America wholeheartedly, you're saying things that aren't going to get us to go.
Yes. Well, paid leave, I'm going to set aside because we endorsed the framework as the White House announced it, as the president announced it, and we actually said we will go with this framework. And the Speaker made the decision to put paid leave in. We fully support it, but that's a piece that we have to work through. Everything else, Mika, has been negotiated.
Okay.
So everybody's talking about the politics of this, and I'm curious your reaction to the realities of it, the aspiration of it. Isn't there an argument that representatives of Congress, Democrat or Republican or whatever, should do what they think is best for the American people, and then worry about the politics later. Why shouldn't the Democratic majority just do what it thinks is best?
Well, you know, you're preaching to the choir here. Look, I think that people are frustrated because we passed a $15 minimum wage back in February in the House. It still hasn't passed in the Senate. We passed the For the People Act for voting rights. It still hasn't passed. And that was with a bill that was redrawn and redrafted by Senator Joe Manchin. And it still didn't get the votes in the Senate. So there is the small problem of the filibuster, which is stopping legislation from moving forward. And I don't think that a 12-point swing in a state in this recent election is about one bill. I think it is about if we have delivered majorities to the Democratic Party in the House, the Senate, and the White House, they got to get together and figure out how to get this done. And that's why progressives have been compromising over and over again, because we still want to get transformational programs. We understand the realities of getting everybody on board. We trust the president, but we want both bills to pass so that we can deliver these results to the American people.
Willie?
Congresswoman Jayapal, good morning. It's Willie Geist. One of your colleagues, Congresswoman Abby Spanberger of Virginia, watched what happened in her state in Virginia during that race. And she said yesterday, we did not elect Joe Biden to be FDR. We elected him to get rid of Donald Trump and stop the chaos. And the focus should be on inflation, supply chain problems, gas prices, things like that that are affecting people right now. There is a criticism, even within your own party, from some moderates that this bill is just too big, that it's a catch-all, that it tries to solve all the world's problems in one piece of legislation. So what do you say to people like Congresswoman Spanberger?
Well, I would just say that this is the agenda that the president ran on and that we all ran on that delivered us the House, the Senate, and the White House. There's nothing new in this agenda that's being brought in from the outside. This is what we ran on. And the reality is, I think people are worried about costs. And I think we should be really clear about that. The way to address that, because of the supply chain problems, because there are cost increases, and it's going to take some time to come out of the worst pandemic that we've ever had in this country, we should actually lower costs for middle-class families and poor families across the country. And we can do that with the Build Back Better agenda, because we are actually going to provide universal childcare. We are going to provide universal pre-K. That is a massive cost for most families. Prescription drug costs, that is a huge cost for families across this country. If we pass the Build Back Better Act, we will lower the cost of prescription drugs. So this is, I think, the way to address the cost concerns that average families, poor families and working families across this country have, that we need to listen to and that we need to respond to.
What's the dialogue that needs to be happening between you and other Democrats, whether it be the House or the Senate? What is missing from this? Because we do have Joe Manchin who's saying, what's the rush? Let's get it right. We've just spent so much money post-pandemic, and we want to be really careful. And he's got a number. He's agreed upon a number. So isn't it a matter of a dialogue to getting this done? And who is it with?
We're going to pass it in the House. I mean, we're going to pass both bills in the House, because now it was 96% of Democrats agreed, and there were 4% we needed to get on board. We spent the last month negotiating that 4%. Now I believe we have the votes to get these two bills through the House and then push it over to the Senate. And Mika, it's 99% now and one person, and hopefully the senator will come on board. And I do trust the president that he's had these discussions. He has been doing a phenomenal job. President Biden has been leading us through the most difficult time in our country's history. Let's just do what we can to emerge. I have faith in democracy. I have faith in the president, and I have faith in our ability to deliver both bills out of the House, and that the Senate will get 51 votes there.